Shalom and welcome to our production sessions. In these sessions, we want to highlight some of the production decisions that we make every time that we are putting a song out there. We want to explain choice of instruments, choice of effects, and all the other decisions that come into play. Our song that we are using this week is Efata Wo by Elliot Lamte. He featured Kofi Kakari on this song. These are two extremely good singers, but different. Kofi Kakari has a more round, soft tone, this Hillsong-like sweet tone, and Elliot Lamte has a stronger voice. He has high mids, very strong high mids, and then he pushes when he sings. So having to put the two of them together for one production, we needed to make a lot of very smart choices so that they complement each other and it doesn't feel like a mismatch. So the bedrock of the song, I should say, is this loop. It's two shakers and then a kind of something that simulates like a kind of a clap or snap kind of thing. So basically it's a 6/8 shuffle. I mean, some call it the Detroit Shuffle because of Let the Praise Begin by Fred Hammond. This is what forms the bedrock of the song. So we had Bluto play drums over this loop. So here are the drums. A kick is the same kick pattern here that I've copied to another track. The only reason is so that we can EQ it differently. So a host of plugins, there's a gate, the Neve thing just for compression, a few other EQs here and there. And then the second one was a sample that I added to the original kick. So this is what both kicks sound like. Very strong sound. Yeah. This is just a sample. Just putting in some mids in there. And we have here the snare. We actually did not use the original snare that came with Bluto's drums. I just wanted a different color of snare. So I used a snare sample from Calvin Rogers and then another snare sample. I can't remember where I got this one from, but this one is kind of a deeper sounding snare. More like a load kind of snare with a lot of the sizzle from the bottom. And then we have this, which is more of a punchier kick with a lot of presence in the high mid area. So both snares together sounds like this. Yep. So that's it for the snare. We still left the snare bottom in there. Separated the rim from the snare so we could EQ it a little differently, a gate, a compressor, just a little EQ. Let me see what I use for the EQ. Is the API, little 5K, basically just to let it poke through. And then the toms grouped together here. 3 toms, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. The hi-hat down here, what did we do? 3 dB of 10K, took out a little bit of 5K. I think it must have sounded a little harsh there. Let me listen to what it sounds like. Okay, and then I rolled off everything from 400 hertz down. Okay, so that's it for the hi-hat. We have 2 overheads that I grouped together. Sweet. Okay, so the whole drum goes through a drum bus, which is supposed to be treatment for the entire drum. So maybe some compression, a little EQ. Basically, that's what goes on in the drum bass. Just trying to find where the drum bass is now. There we go. So we have the SSL compressor on the drum bass. fast release, slow attack 10. And then we have the El Fatso. What am I using for this? Okay, we're just getting some tape simulation, tape warmth on the drum bass. That's where everything is going. And then one very interesting thing we did was to send the entire drum bass to a reverb. I'm using the True Verb for this. It's giving us a drum room so that when the drum, maybe I should play the drum without the drum room, then we can understand what it's adding to it. That's a drastic difference, isn't it? Yeah, this gives the drum some room and some space to work in. The next thing we'll talk about will be the keyboard or the music section of it. We used the analog, I believe there's a basic pad. Is it playing here? Okay, it doesn't play there. So it plays at the intro. That's it. Analog from the motif, either the SX, ES. I believe most of them have this tone in the analog. It's a sweet pad. The next thing we have is body electric. I believe this is from the Phantom series, the Phantom keyboard. I don't know, it's like a synth, sounds like a guitar, has a little bit of distortion. I use it to emphasize the main phrase of the song. Let me play a little bit of it so you can understand. So here we 1, 2, 3, 4. So just to make the intro stick out, though the horns are playing the same thing, it makes it stick out better. And then the main EP, I believe this is vintage 74 or something from the motif again. I threw in the towel. I threw in the towel chorus. Let's listen without the towel chorus. Sounds okay, but this one makes it spread a little more. Yeah, towel chorus. It's a free plugin if you want to look it up. And then the LA3A. Did I do any compression on this? Let's see what we are using the LA3A for. Okay, yes. So some light, not light, maybe 4 dB of compression just to make sure that we keep the EP bouncy but in there. So that's it. We have an organ sound. I love B3. And then what did I do to it? I threw some distortion plugin over it just to make it more gritty. It helps it stand out, I should say, in the mix. Sorry. And then there's another tone, Try the Star. What is it doing? Okay, some ear candy. I believe I threw some delay on top of that. That is also from the Phantom. The next thing we have is some horns. Horns, we picked it from Session Horns. This is not live horns. Okay, so everything together. Let me take out the acoustics for now. We'll talk about them in a bit. So the B3 is acting more like the pad. Yeah. And then along the line, analog joins the song somewhere in there. Okay. So the next thing we will talk about is the acoustic guitars. I didn't use an electric guitar because I didn't want the guitars to be too... I already said Elliot has quite some strong high mids there. So mid-ground between Elliot and Kofi Kakari, I felt the acoustics would be a more of a gluing agent between the two of them. That's this acoustic guitar, mic'd, not DI'd. So the same thing is playing, the same thing on the left, same thing on the right. They strum almost the same set of chords. So that's the role of the acoustic guitar in there. EQ wise, Okay, that's just a little gate I put on it, but I believe on the acoustic bass, which should be somewhere here. Is that you? That's it. So we have the API 550. Let me see what EQ we're doing here. We're adding 2 dB of 10K, taking away a dB of 3K, adding some 300 works well. Then we have a compressor, the 1176. We have the analoger, makes it a little warmer, and then transient control. Was I adding more transients? Yes, I did. Added more transients so that it will cut through. And then a tape just to make it warmer still. So that's what we have so far. Okay, moving on. So let's play it all together. Let's release the acoustics. Yeah, they're there. Cool. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the BVs. We have a host of tracks, quite a lot of them. It's because, majority of the time we have one harmony being sung 4 times, and we did a 3-part harmony for this song. They come in with, I believe, the verse. Let's solo that. So we have a gate, we have an EQ. Just trying to open this up. Okay, so we have a high pass filter set around 220 hertz thereabouts. We have the RComp for compression. We have the C4 for extra compression. We have a de-esser on it. We have this to take care of the high mids. Sometimes the high mids get a little overbearing. I believe it must be a Efata Wo somewhere there. Yeah, that's it. So you want to just tuck it down just a little so that it's not overbearing. And then we have CLS vocal. What am I doing here? Just a little pitch, some reverb, and then an 1/8 note delay. Yes, on the vocals, just makes it bounce around, and everything gets a final compressor just to glue everything together. Harmony wise, we did 3-part harmony. I think the melody is in the middle, and then we threw a 1/3 above and a 1/5 beneath till we get to this part after the bridge where we swap harmonies, and then they go. So that's about the change that they do in there. Let's play what we have so far. Okay, so we're almost there. Next thing, bass. Have I talked about the bass? The bass guitar. I used the 5-string Yamaha bass. It already has a sweet tone, but I put in a gate just to take care of some sloppiness in my play, and the LA3A for some compression. Let's see, solo the bass. Oh, it's barely kissing it, but it's adding some rich harmonics in the mid-range to that. And then there is some EQing. I'm taking out something around 540 hertz. Let me see what is there. Just makes it smoother. And then slight low cut somewhere here. And then what did I put on it? An auto-tune. Auto-tune, yes, you can use that on bass sometimes. It just makes some of the transitions smoother. And then we have an 1176. I believe there's a main compressor that's a fast release and a medium attack. Tucking the bass down. Clarisonics adds a little more low end. to it. C4, taking care of just the lower frequencies, starting from 128, just squeezing those ones down, keeping them stable. The last thing I put on it was the Pultec 60 hertz and then attenuation at 5 kilohertz. Great. Okay, so the lead voice, we have Elliot's track here, a compressor, a little bit of auto-tune, not because he needed any note correction, just to smoothen the transitions. DSR 1176 again, and then the Pultec. The interesting thing we did here is that we're doing shelving at 10K, and then we are attenuating also at 10K. I mean, it gives it a very interesting sound. We're boosting and cutting at the same time, and this is supposed to tame Elliot's mids down. Oh, did I touch something here? Let's see. Don't worry about it, we'll be fine. I believe it's a preset from this one. Yeah, that must be it. We just bring it down a little. Yeah, there we go. So that's Elliot. Let's see what Elliot sounds like. So what did we do with the vocal effects? I think we put Money's Delay, quarter note, 1/8 note, quarter note on one side, 1/8 note on another side, a little bit of Revelation reverb on him. I did a little cutting here. There is some resonance in my vocal booth, is around 500, so I normally would take that out. And then a little bit of 3K to make his consonants poke out better. So next person is Kofi Kakari. Let's see what happens here. So after we do this punch, one. Again, we have what did I do to Kofi? Okay, I think I put Kofi's vocals in a bass. I labeled it Kofi bass. There we go. There we go. So we have a gate. What am I doing with this one? Okay, let's take a look at this. So a little bit of a shelf here. 9K high pass filter 114. I enjoy Kofi's low mid, so we just wanted to keep a little bit of it in there. R comp on Kofi. A limiter on him again, just to make sure that all his notes are clearly heard. I already mentioned he's a little softer than Elliot is. A DSR auto-tune for smooth transitions, and then to take out some high mids again from him. Basically, this is the structure of the song. The rest is just bass compression on the entire thing. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot about this. There is this other set of tracks that come in. I call them the descant. They actually do. So they are doing the way you're hinting, they are doing the verse over the chorus. Now, the interesting thing we did with them is that I put a compressor on this group called the Descant group. Descant group. There we go. Is it this group or this group? I think it's this group. I put a compressor on them and I sidechained it to the original BVs. So every time the original BVs sing, they will compress. So if I were to exaggerate this, so what this means is that this compressor is being controlled by the BVs. Every time the BVs sing, they would reduce the volume of the descants. That's because they are singing at the same time, and we had to find an innovative way of making sure that we can hear both tracks together. I believe Elliot will be releasing this song sometime in the coming weeks. It's a beautiful song. I want you to go out there, download it, share it. It's a beautiful song. Until we come your way with yet another song exposing some production tricks here and there, it's me, KODA, and the entire team saying, God bless you. Shalom till we meet again. Amen.